Do you know what I have found out already? Froilan asked. You came back for me. And he said it smiling. I might have changed, but he had too. Maybe because my last memory of him was of that quiet Froilan of the second time. Maybe because he wasn't angry anymore. I'm telling you, I still cannot control the destination thing. I said, half smiling, half not wanting to admit I cared about him. His eyebrow raised, although he was smiling tenderly. Not so, I mean, you came back to the black garment and to the prison where you had been before. Maybe you can control the travels to the places you had visited before, but not to the ones you don't know, he thought. It makes sense, but that's not the most worrying of all. What really drives me crazy is that when I sleep I appear wherever, without wanting, without having to go, without anything. I'm going mad, I said. Without anything for sure not. I'm sure there is a reason why you have to go where you go to. The big problem is that you cannot sleep, or that, as Raoul told you, you get lost in your dreams. Froilan explained. What are we doing now? I asked. We don't know where we are. I think we'd better wait until dawn, he said. There are stars and so, but you cannot see anything, and if there is curfew, we'll get into trouble. This doesn't look like the city, I said, looking around. We lay down on the ground. The ground was made of mud. Froilan offered his chest to rest my head on and embraced me with his arm. If you leave, come back for me, he said, caressing my hair. I smiled. I was afraid of dreaming, and maybe that's why I didn't dream. The dew woke me up, announcing a sunny day. I got up trying to get rid of Froilan's arm without waking him up. I only could see clay walls and a blue sky over us. I was panic seeing myself in an empty lake that could be filled up in any moment. I started to walk along the walls. It was a large area. The walls made a rectangle that looked like a giant tomb. In one of the sides, it had a ramp. What is this? A building plot? Froilan asked next to me, saving me from seeing myself buried alive. Maybe. I was about to go up the ramp, I said, pointing at it, to see what's waiting for us up there. Let's go, Froilan invited. The ramp was steeper than it seemed. Once up, we could see the city from far away. It was different. No, it was the same, but it looked different. It was beautiful. The four emblematic buildings that I could easily recognize sported clean and well cared. From the distance, I could see the stone houses full of life and colors. Isn't it the city? Froilan asked. Yes, I answered. This must be the factory's building plot. We have to find Cesar. You said he didn't live at the city, didn't you? He said. Sure, but if this is the factory's place, the limit doesn't exist yet. We can come and go with no problem, I explained. The problem is find him without knowing where he lives. Froilan pulled me back to the ground. We can go to the Hannah and Raoul's shop. Maybe they know it, I suggested. Yes, we can. He agreed without conviction. Logically, I must say, it was perfectly possible they didn't live there, but he couldn't offer a better alternative either, because they didn't have any safe house yet. I'm ravenous, Froilan said. I hope you are right and they live there already. We went down slowly. I was waking up and Froilan hadn't eaten for long. Close up, the city didn't look as perfect as from the distance. I could see the abandoned in some things. However, the streets, the trees, and the beautiful buildings were well cared. People walked peacefully, and the kids ran free. Facing what we knew as the Hannah and Raoul shop, we took a deep breath and looked at each other, exercising the luck. "Good morning," a young and smiling Hannah greeted. I looked around, trying to recognize the place. Raylan had stuck his eyes in a piece of smelling bread behind the counter. There weren't toys or sneakers. Instead, there was a barrel with chestnut tree staves, turnip greens, cabbages and potatoes, sausages and ham. "Good morning," I answered, realizing that none of us had greeted back.